So how do I pronounce your name?
You can say Sai.
Sai.
Yeah.
Great. Nice to finally meet you, Sai. I'm Jeff.
Hi Jeff. Thanks for accepting my request and accepting to be on my show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Just getting my camera angle right here.
This is very good.
Okay, I think that's most of me.
Your background is fantastic,
Yeah, we got a little painting. There's a piano. Yeah,
and the flower pot.
yeah, it's got everything you need.
So thank you for coming to my show and accepting to be on my show.
Thanks for having me.
So I thought to introduce you to my audience.
Sorry.
I thought to introduce you to my audience.
Okay. I
So
mean, just
can you please introduce yourself?
yeah, of course. So my name is Jeff Koop. I'm a chef from Vancouver area in BC in Canada, and I have been working in professional kitchens for uh, about 16 years now, and now I'm exiting and started my own business making foods that are extremely dietary friendly. So I'll be in the food manufacturing business.
Food manufacturing business. So you are the owner of it.
Yes,
What is the name of your business?
it's called Koop Foods, and it'll be open. Should be mid-April, so just in the starting preliminary period at the moment.
You didn't started yet.
No, no. Basically, samples are done. The first product line is set to go. Just have a couple of things sorted out with permits and insurance, and then should be ready to go for middle of April.
So this is the first interview and where you're talking about your business for the first time.
It is, yeah.
So I'm happy for that.
Yeah, me too.
So 16 years of experience in food making.
That's right.
I'm sure you have made a lot of thousands of foods in your life.
I've fed a lot of people. Yeah, yeah. When you start to add it up, yeah, it's really amazing actually how many times you've made someone's lunch or dinner. It's incredible.
Do you remember when you made food for the first time?
The first time I cooked, I believe was outside of making macaroni and cheese out of a box, which probably doesn't count. The first time I made something for somebody um, was, and I won't even use school cooking as an example, but I had learned how to make a stuffed pepper.
Okay.
Uh, it was like a red pepper stuffed with like rice and vegetables and some spices. And I had learned it at like a home ec class. And I, came home after school and made my mom this like stuffed pepper. And and it was just like I just put the pepper on a plate, and just put it, there's a little pepper on a big plate, and I gave it to my mom. My mom was like, "Wow, like where did this come from?" And she really liked it. So I think that's my first memory of cooking someone something.
Have you thought that you're going to start a business which is connected with food after 16 years when you made that first food?
No, absolutely not. Uh, no, I think it was something to do to kill the time more than anything. Um, you know, that's that spark. I don't think that was the first spark. I think that was just the first memory. Um, the spark and the interest really came later, I'd say.
So you took that as a profession. When you thought that this is where I am very good and I have to take this as a profession.
Yeah, so I started working in a chain restaurant. In the Vancouver area, there's quite a lot of very good, very successful mid-price chain restaurants. And so a lot of cooks get their start in those types of restaurants. And they're very, very busy. They're very efficient and organized. And so that's where I started. And I started making appetizers and salads and things like that. And got used to working online. I liked working with a team because I think I had it felt natural to me because I played a lot of sports and played within a team kind of environment and was used to that. I was used to having a coach or a chef. It was a very easy transition, I would say. And yeah, that hustle, that like going to work and like right away you're like right in the middle of this storm. It feels like this organized storm, and everyone's got to work together to get the orders up on time. And I think that's what I fell in love with first. It wasn't so much the food as much as it was the culture and the experience of service, and that I found it exhilarating, and it was a little goal to accomplish. 5 days a week was just you get through service and you do a good job, and you feel good after.
So, when you made your first food in that restaurant, what was the response that you got?
So, you get some feedback from the general manager on the floor. You get feedback from your chef for sure, but direct customer feedback, there's kind of unfortunately a barrier in between the line cook and the customer in a restaurant, which is unfortunate. But that's a result of the classic brigade style. I would say later on, I chose jobs that were more connected to the customer. I worked at a farm to table restaurant where we served the customer food. And then also I started doing a lot of pop-ups or, temporary restaurants, maybe for a night, or we would go back to the same place. And I would sell tickets to these where I'm cooking for 20 people at a time. And it's directly like there might be a server helping, but it's directly to the customer. Oftentimes family and friends, not always, but oftentimes. And that I loved. That I really, really loved, because then there's no separation, there's no barrier, there's no buffer in between you and the person you're cooking for, which is really, really nice. It's very refreshing when you're used to the separation. And nothing against the traditional restaurant setup. It's like that for a reason. It's very efficient that way when you keep things separate. But I personally enjoy that creating something for the guest, for the customer, and yeah, and having that sort of that relationship.
So, okay, so you are very close to the customer, and you came to know the result of your food, right? So, okay, so have you studied food? I mean, in a university?
Yeah, I went to a college. I went to a Vancouver Community College. I did an apprenticeship program where, yeah, you learn the fundamentals and you learn about costing a menu and running a business, and you learn about the classical French kind of repertoire, for sure. Um, yeah, but let's see. I should backpedal a second, because before you asked like about I know the result that my food gives other people. And I have to stop you there, because I actually don't. I actually don't know the result of what people. I know what people tell me. I know what people are willing to tell me about what they ate, and that's really all you get as a chef. So what really is more important than the feedback is developing the self-confidence and developing the experience to know that something is good know that something is made correctly as it's supposed to be, that it's balanced, that it's delicious, and using that as your gauge, I think. And like, it's a complicated thing, because when you're always cooking for other people's enjoyment, it's imperfect. It's not, it seems like that's the way it should be done, but you never really know. But what you always really know is whether you've done it the way that you want it to be, the way that you know it ought to be, developing that self-confidence, because then you can keep that consistent. As long as you're tasting, as long as you're doing things right, that you can keep consistent. But you can't keep other people's reactions consistent. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it's like, and that's sort of where you have to sort of like cook for yourself to some degree. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, but that's a more accurate answer.
16 is a very big number. So how you improved your skills?
I think, it's an unfortunate thing with restaurants, but there's kind of it's fortunate and it's unfortunate. There is a maximum period of time you can spend at a place before there's like a law of diminishing returns. Like you stop learning at the rate that you did when you started. And so there's this necessary like jumping from restaurant to restaurant, given that you've been there for enough time. So yeah, I've just spent a lot of time in a lot of restaurants. I think, like, off the top of my head, probably like 15 restaurants, probably more, plus internships, or we call them stages. So these are whether you do like a day or a week or sometimes even months, where you do usually an unpaid internship at a restaurant that you are very, very interested in. Oftentimes these are international situations, and so yeah, I've been really fortunate enough to spend days, weeks at some Michelin starred restaurants, at some award-winning restaurants in Australia as well. And so yeah, it's kind of a cool profession, because you never really need to, like, you never really stop learning, because you can never know everything. It's impossible to know everything about cooking. It's impossible. Like, there's just too much. So, you, generally speaking, after a certain point in cooking, you find an approach or a style of cooking that resonates with you the most, and then you kind of just like focus on that. And that can change too. That's the thing. Like, you can be like all about Italian food for 5 years, 6 years, and then say, you know what? Like, I'm interested in what's going on with like these chefs in the jungle. Like, I want to go learn about like cooking in the Yucatan. I want to go learn about India. People just like they chefs, they get bored, really. They get bored and they get interested. There's just so much to be interested about. So yeah, I don't know. It's different for every person. I mean, some people, they just like, okay, classical French cooking, fine dining, like that's me. That's what I want to do, and they just stick to that. But I'm not like that. I tend to move around and get interested in different cuisines for different periods of time.
What is food to you?
What is food to me? I guess it's potential. It's an outlet. It's an opportunity for expression and sharing, and it's pleasure.
So I'm sure in your experience you have seen a lot of customers who eat your food. Right. So you know what exactly a customer needs, by seeing their emotion, this is what they are ready to eat, or this is what they are not ready to eat.
Well, no, I don't know. Like I said, I've worked in lots of different restaurants, and that means that we have like a lot of different types of customers Um, and not only that, not only the types, but every individual is different. And so I think a good menu um, reflect the different tastes that are there within reason. That's why it's important to have menu items that are familiar, because not everyone going to your restaurant is going to be a aficionado or a gourmand of whatever. So you always want to have things that are familiar and people are comfortable ordering. But then you also want to have things on there that are a little bit different, a little bit for the exploring, more adventurous type.
As a human being, I have a doubt why these many types of foods to eat.
Sorry.
As a human being, I have a doubt why these many types of foods in different countries, different cultures, different foods. Why?
Why? Sorry, I don't understand the question.
Why human being is eating these many kinds of foods,
Why do
types
people?
of foods?
Why do human beings eat so many different types of foods?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, why not? I mean, I think like it's just the most natural thing in the world. Like you see something in the tree that's round and orange. I mean, it's just asking for you to eat it. I mean, um, every animal, every sea creature. I mean, everything's food at the end of the day. I should say this. Everything is food to something. You know, everything. Like we're worm food. Eventually, we're mosquito food. You know, everything's food.
How many types of foods you can make?
Oh, I have no idea. I have
No
no idea.
idea.
But if you gave me something and gave me like a rough idea of what it was, I think there's a good chance I could make something. I could make a competent dish. Maybe not delicious, but I could make a competent dish out of it as long as I had a vague idea of like what type of food you were giving me. It's the best answer I could give you.
Okay, so have you prepared your menu for the restaurant of yours?
Sorry.
Have you prepared a menu for your own restaurant, which is going to be open?
So my business isn't a restaurant. My business is a food manufacturing company. So
Okay.
the items that are going to be selling are going to be things like condiments, dressings, and snacks, and they're going to be items that are inspired and informed by my restaurant experience. So you're going to have things that you can't find at a Whole Foods or at a health food store. They're going to be flavors. There's going to be sauces that are something that would be at home at a casual fine dining restaurant. Um, but they're going to be extremely dietary friendly, and so you could have IBS. You could have a nightshade allergy. You could be a vegan. You could be all three, and I'll have a product for you. So yeah, that's the type of business that I'm starting.
Local or international?
So to start is going to be definitely marketing heavily to locals, both in the people that are just looking for things that are a little bit healthier to eat, and also to people that are afflicted with one of these dietary restrictions that I mentioned. But I will immediately be selling internationally as well, and so not restricted just to local. Um, to locals. So yeah, the website will be up relatively soon, and you'll be able to purchase from the website directly, both with individual products, and there'll be a subscription service as well.
So you export to stores or to individuals too?
So to start, it's going to be direct to consumer, direct to the individual. That way, I can kind of create sort of something more customized, something more customizable for who I'm each customer, and you know, I will explore different options of selling retail, but to me, the real interest for me, both as a business owner and as someone who's just trying to do something a little bit differently, is that direct to consumer model.
So what is the difference between your manufacturing company and other companies which are already there?
Yeah, so it depends where you look. So I've got different competitors in different areas. So there's the most notable plant-based vegan companies that are doing sauces and dressings and snacks currently. I mean, they are the ones that I'm familiar with are in the retail sector, and they do a great job. There's a lot of good like vegan products out now, which wasn't always the case, as any vegan will tell you. And but they're for one, they've been around for a little while, so their products are not as updated, to current tastes, to modern tastes. So that's where my products are a bit different. And the other thing is that I'm trying to include and encompass, at a minimum 3 different dietary restrictions. Okay, at a minimum. So right now, like my first line is not only plant-based or vegan, not certified vegan, but vegan, and gluten-free and sugar-free. Okay, so that's the start. So within those 3, I mean, I've got a lot of products because there's no wheat products, there's no dairy. They're great for people with irritable bowel syndrome. Great because it's not sugar-free, or because the products are sugar-free. Perfect for diabetics. Okay, I'm not using any sugar alcohols. They're all natural sweeteners, so there will not be anything in there that will be like, what do you call it? Significantly raising insulin levels or anything like that. And then a lot of my products, almost all of them, are going to be nut-free. And although I work in a facility where there are nuts, great care will be taken so that there's no cross-contamination of nuts in the product. So that's as far as like the retail sector, I mean, I don't see a lot of products that are taking such lengths, such big steps to encompass as many dietary restrictions as my company is. And then the subscription service I'm offering, both to get the same products month to month, or a mix of different products, depending on your particular dietary needs and tastes, accompanied with recipes, simple recipes you can make with the products, which I will also be giving out in newsletters. I don't see any of that happening currently on the market. So yeah, that's my best answer I have for that.
So where it is exactly?
So I'm located, the commercial kitchen is in Maple Ridge in British Columbia in Canada.
Okay. So next month, April, you're going to start it?
Yeah, we should be ready to roll mid-April.
Okay. So you are ready to export to other countries too?
Sure. Yeah.
What, only Canadian products, or other country products too?
Well, the product will be Canadian, but the Canadian products can be exported
Yeah.
to.
No, the products that you are manufacturing are just connected with Canada or other countries too?
Other countries as well.
Okay. So Can other Canada? I came to know that in Vancouver there are lot of Indians,
There are,
uh,
yeah.
the North Indians. So can they get some products from your company?
Yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah,
So
all this
with
will be available um, through my website.
okay, so is there anything else that you want to tell to the world who watches this video?
Yeah, I mean, for the time being, if you want to see what I'm up to and you're curious, my Instagram handle is jgcoop, so j.g.coop. I'm doing a lot of like just posting a lot of information about kind of like what this is kind of the stuff that I'm working on. I've got dishes being made with some of the products that I'm testing. I'll have information about the business page that's coming up very very shortly. And so, yeah, I mean, give me a follow on there, and then if you're interested, and especially if you have any of these dietary restrictions and you're curious about products for you, feel free to message me directly, and we'll come up with something that can work.
Okay, so is it do you have any prices of your products right now?
Prices,
Yeah.
prices, I can't confirm at the moment, but I can give you a ballpark idea. So for the 12-ounce bottles of dressings, so I've got two sizes. I've got the 12-ounce bottles of dressings. So I've got 10-ounce jars of some of the like condiment type things. I've got a caramel as well. So you're looking at around $10 to $11 each for those. And then I've got some snacks that I'm working on, which will be a little bit similar, $11 to $12 for a pouch. I've got a beet jerky. So that's basically a beef jerky made out of beetroot, just smoked and dried and very similar. So yeah, that's going to be around $11 to $12. And then with the subscription, there will be promotion codes given for those, and you'll be able to. There will be ways that you can save by buying a little bit more or committing to a subscription or the newsletter. And so, yeah.
I'll put your website link. Is that live now? Your website is live now.
No, not yet. Not yet. Very soon.
Okay, when it comes live, send me the link. I'll put the link in the description of this video. People who finds our video on YouTube or anywhere on the social media will find your business.
Awesome.
So, uh, thank you very much for giving me your valuable time and telling me about your business and about your work.
Yeah, of course. It's a pleasure. Nice to meet you, Sai.
Have you seen any videos of mine on YouTube?
I have just a little bit. Just a little bit.
I'm coming to Canada, Toronto for work. If I get time, if you give me time, we'll meet someday.
Yeah, I'd like that. I think
Thank
you'll like
you.
it. Sounds a
Yeah,
cool place.
Toronto, Vancouver. Vancouver is beautiful city.
Sure is.
So, your favorite food at
That's
last?
great. At the moment, you know what I really like is it's called mouth-watering chicken. Like literally,
Okay.
that's what it's called. It's a Szechuan Chinese appetizer dish, and it's cold chicken with the skin on, and it's like covered in this like really spicy vinegary sauce. Usually with like crushed peanuts on it. Oh, that's my favorite. It's so so good.
There will be a lot of Indians who will be watching this video. When they listen to your narration, I'm sure they want to
Yeah,
eat the food that you are telling.
that's awesome.
So, as a creator, as a person who creates a lot of different types of foods, you have seen with your eyes with a lot of ingredients, right? So, like that, what do you say? Me as a creator, me talking with different country people. if all the people are ingredients.
Sorry, I misunderstood the question again. What's the question?
You're a creator, right? You create a lot of foods. You make a lot of dishes, and which you know a lot of names of the dishes, and you are expert in that. So as in that perspective, if you see on my YouTube channel, there are a lot of people talking with me. If you see all them as a food, different types of food, as a creator, what do you say?
What do I see? If I see different types of people from different places? Oh, I don't know. I think I'm not. I'm not really thinking about food at that point. I'm usually thinking about what they're telling me about their business. But I guess if you have any pilots on, I'm thinking about really like lousy, overcooked. Like a lousy, overcooked stir fry with like congealed rice and maybe some crappy peanuts as a snack.
I'm sure my followers will see this explanation.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm sure they can relate. Airplane food is always the worst.
Okay, man, keep going. Keep doing what you love, and I'm sure your business is going to be reached. Is going to reach all over the world.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank,
Hope so.
yeah. Take care.
Thanks, sir.
Bye.